Hello, everyone, and welcome to our first Zoom interview for the Major League Baseball Players Alumni Association Lessons with the Legends blog. Today, I have the pleasure of sitting down with a man who doesn't need any introduction. He's former MLB pitcher Jamie Moyer. Jamie played for 25 years in the Major League Baseball with the Philadelphia Phillies, Seattle Mariners, Boston Red Sox, Baltimore Orioles, St. Louis Cardinals, Texas Rangers, and Chicago Cubs. Over his career, Jamie accumulated over 4,000 innings pitched, 269 strikeouts, and over 269 wins and over 2,441 strikeouts. Jamie was an All-Star in 2003 with the Seattle Mariners and won a World Series title with the Phillies in 2008. Jamie, thank you so much for being with us today.
My pleasure, and thanks for having me on, and really looking forward to doing this. This is new times and exciting new directions, right?
Exactly. That's what we're trying to go for here. We're trying to give us a new perspective. Before I jump into our interview, I wanted to give you a little bit of a background of what we do with our Legends for Youth clinics. Our Legends for Youth clinics, we bring in former Major League Baseball players to teach the basic fundamentals of baseball to kids for free. So there are things like hitting, pitching, fielding, and anything in between there that we do. But at the end of our clinic, after all the basic fundamentals are done, we do a life skills section where former players talk about how they can succeed on and off the field, whether that's the importance of education or listening to your parents. But something I've seen from you is that you attributed a lot of your success to the mental game, especially in your memoir, Just Tell Me I Can't. And I was wondering if you could elaborate a little bit more for us how the mental game made you more successful and how it can potentially make kids more successful while they're playing the game of baseball.
Well, it's a great question. And, the mental game, obviously at different ages can play different roles for people. And not only can it help kids, I get it. Our direction here is to kids, but as you kids grow up, this is something, if you start at a young age and start to learn how to utilize what's going on around you, understand what's happening, learn how to deal with success in a healthy way, learn how to deal with failure, because life does give us a lot of situations where, I don't want to say maybe it's failure, but things don't happen the way we expect them to happen, right? So when you start to have those experiences, first of all, you think about, well, what expectation did I have, or did I have any expectation to what I'm expecting to have happen, whether it's on the baseball field, whether it's in the classroom at school, whether it's at home with your siblings or your parents. So to me, I've learned that, yeah, it's okay to have some expectations, but also let's just go have fun. Let's be around friends. Let's take this experience and learn from it. Let's be good listeners. Let's use our eyes. Okay, we can learn from watching, and we can learn from listening. We don't always have to be using this, but we use this to our mouths to communicate in healthy ways. And again, when we talk about communication, we talk about communicating positively. We think positively. We communicate positively. And a lot of times when we can act or create those positive actions, we can have healthier outcomes. For instance, oh, I can't hit, I can't throw, I can't catch. Well, look, we were all that person one day in our lives, and maybe at different ages, okay? But we learned because we were willing to listen. We were willing to watch. We were willing to experiment, and we were allowing ourselves failure, because usually when we fail, we learn. So failure, even though it's maybe not what you want to have happen, what I learned in my career as I played, that I learned mostly through failure. So
Right.
failure became, once I got over the initial failure, it became a positive thing because I was able to self-evaluate myself in the whys and the hows of the failure. And then when I learned how to deal with that, I then came up with different ways. Maybe I could have prepared better. Maybe I could have used two hands to catch that pop up. Maybe I could have gotten myself in a better fielding position to catch that ball. Maybe I could have learned how to throw the ball better. Maybe I wasn't watching the ball come from the pitcher all the way to hit the ball. Okay. So there's a
Right.
lot of things, a lot of basic things that not only as a young player we can learn, but there's a lot of guys that I watch on TV that are professionals that
Right.
do make mistakes. Okay. And not to get on them, but just to say, wow, they made a mistake because maybe they tried to catch the ball or throw the ball before they caught it. Right. That happens. I
Right.
saw that happen last night in the Arizona Diamondbacks game.
Yeah.
Okay. And it
I
ended up costing them the game.
Right. And even with all the baseball stuff in there as well, this kind of transcends baseball in the way that you can take this lesson from learning from your failures and you can actually use that in the real world as well. And that's what we try to do with our life skills section is go beyond baseball as well and kind of teach life lessons.
Exactly. And look, I mean, we can attribute this the same way to school. Does
Right.
everybody get
Exactly.
100% on a quiz or a test? Well, geez, how prepared was I? You know, and the biggest thing that I say that I learned was as I progressed in my career and as I matured as a baseball player, I learned that if I could go look at myself in a mirror, okay, and have a conversation with myself and learn how to be honest with myself first. If I can be honest with myself first, I can be honest with everybody else that is around me. But if I can't be honest with myself, then I can't expect myself to be honest with everybody else around me.
Right. That's a great lesson. Honestly, I mean, it transcends baseball, goes beyond baseball.
Thank you guys for watching the first half of our interview with Jamie Moyer. Tune in next week for another chance to listen to him talk about the importance of being a good teammate, building relationships, and the love of the game.